Hi everybody, David Dilling from Pinecker01. Welcome to this new video. Today we're going to talk about the PhiPower water swirl bottle and a magnetic stir. I've actually been looking for one of those for years. More on that in a moment. But we're going to open this box here from PhiPower. It's actually one of my favorite topics. It has to do with water. Being born in the side of Aquarius might have something to do with it, but I've always been drawn to water. Rivers, lakes, pond, the mighty ocean. It just gave me a soothing feeling. It seemed to be like almost giving me a message or trying to tell me something. I've had a fish tank since I've been like 10 years old. And it all got deeper when I realized in Genesis 1, God's word, that water was just there. On the first day he created this, second day he created that, and so forth. But water was already there. Matter of fact, in Genesis 1, water is even mentioned 6 times. Pretty amazing for an element that wasn't even created in the text there. It was just there. It was already there with part of God's plan. So I've been turned on for years about the importance of water. And I really started picking up speed about 10 or 12, 15 years ago. We all know that water is vital for our survival. But besides water, there's water and then there's good water. Vitalize, energized water. I first learned that water, primarily structured water, can actually hold memory about 15 years ago or so. I learned this from a scientist from France. He was the one who actually first isolated the HIV virus that causes AIDS. His name is Luc Montagnier. I probably say it a little bit wrong. My French wasn't my strongest point in school. But nonetheless, he's kind of like a little bit of a, hero of mine in terms of humans. I highly recommend you watch the video I'll put down below with him in it, where he talks about how water, he's proven that water holds memory. And once again, primarily structured water, but virtually any water molecule is a miracle and amazing in and of itself and can hold certain amounts of data. You can look at it like this, it holds emotion. The video is called Water Memory, it's down below. Unfortunately, Luke passed away a couple years ago. He really was an inspiration for me for many reasons, and you can look into him to see exactly what I mean. He's really an amazing figure, and I've learned a lot from him, and from him I've come into many different topics on water and other issues. Later I realized that we're drinking unvitalized water out of pipes, plastic often, or corroded, water that hasn't seen the light of day for perhaps days, months, maybe even years before it gets into our bodies. And not that it's the same down below in the earth, God's good earth, it also doesn't see the light of day, but we're talking about in corroded pipes with polluted water and no natural filtering system to vitalize or to energize that water. And this really was step 2 of my water memory journey, was Victor Schauberger. Schauberger is his name. He was an Austrian game warden, but naturalist and inventor, and he really just loved studying water out there in nature and understanding and seeing that certain water tastes better and certain water made you feel better. And that water was water that was like right out of the streams, out of vortexes. And his whole thing was about vortex and how water through the vortex process of running down streams and rivers and what have you is really vital to energizing the water. And water that comes out of springs, similar process. It goes through a whole like vortex motion before you get it. It's interesting that, like in Morocco, I think it is, they pour the tea at high. It's like a tradition. They go real high and pour the tea. There's various ways people deal with water that are very interesting because they're kind of vitalizing it as well, maybe without even realizing it. It's just tradition that's been passed down. I have a video from Victor also down below, very interesting. And this really ties directly into the bottle swirl that you're going to see in a moment here. I even acquired an egg-shaped water vortexer back in the day, about 10 or 15 years ago. Matter of fact, I got it over here. And it's a real fancy unit. Unfortunately, the Englishman that offered this has passed away. But nonetheless, the process is part of what Victor described is energizing your water through vortexes. And with a simple swirling motion, you get the vortex. And you do this time after time. I forget exactly, I think it was about 12 or 15 times. If you do this, your water is then activated, so to speak. And there's ways you can test this, and we'll get into that when we get into the units here. This will be a 2 or 3 part video, so this is just part 1, the introduction, so to speak. So you just do this, and I just really love the way it works. The egg-shaped container is very interesting. It's used in ancient cultures throughout history as a way to store water. The egg shape, of course, eggs out in nature, like the blackbird nest in my backyard right behind the camera here, they have this shape. Very interesting, right? But also, it's a good way of holding and storing and packing water to bring it and keep it fresh and vitalized. So this is just one way you can vitalize water. It's a manual process. It takes forever, which is why I'm glad PhiPower introduced me to this one, because this will help do this process automatically with magnetic plate. So this is the egg vortexer, which is very cool. Matter of fact, I even went so far back in the day, I was so much into this that I got, I made one myself on the cheap, so to speak. I searched wide and far for this little doohickey right here. I got a bunch of them somewhere. They just take 2 old cola bottles and you put them together and you get a similar motion. You see the vortex going there. Pretty wild, huh? This is beautiful. It's unfortunate it's plastic. You can buy glass bottles like this with these fittings, but it got expensive again, so I was like, oh well. I have that one, and I have my PhiPower hydrogen infuser and my PhiPower filter and pH generator. But this is great for, like, you can use this for giving water to your plants or putting in the aquarium, in the fish tank, and what have you. But isn't it beautiful, the vortex? Vortex is something else. I'll never forget, I came across a vortex once when I was a child. Big one out there on a lake. And it was kind of scary on one hand, but how do you call it? Like, because it would suck up like complete logs. The log would be like, where did the log go? You know, and other stuff. So I didn't want to get in that thing. But what was interesting was it was mesmerizing, you know. So anyway, you can have fun with these sort of things, creating the vortexes, see how it starts up, and beautiful, isn't it? It just makes sense that this is just vitalizing the water, energizing the water, getting into its natural flow. We all know that friction creates energy, and this is basically a form of friction and creating energy in the H2O that we can then drink. Would you want to put dead water in your body, or do you want to put living, energizing water in your body? Of course, there's only one living water. I know what that is. Many of you know that as well. But anyway, so this is the other device. So I've really been blessed to get these now, and like I said, this bottle is a little bit different than the egg shape. It has a unique form, and I got to get rid of that crow there. He's okay. Yeah, the crow was pecking at our, Afghan we put outside to air out. So I've been looking for this magnetic stir for about, well, more than 10 years. And back then it was a bit more expensive, and it wasn't really clear exactly how well, or, the sources weren't very reputable, let's put it that way. Now, PhiPower offers one, and this is a bundle, and it even comes with the golden triangle of crystals. So good water is vital. I'll first use my PhiPower filter and pH device, which is behind me, and I'll fill my hydrogen infuser with the water from the pH device and filter, and that is also from PhiPower. That'll get additional hydrogen or H into the water, and infuses right into water. And this has numerous proposed health benefits. I've been doing this for years. One Once that is complete, we then, and really, I have other videos on that, how amazing I find it to help me in my keeping my weight down, staying healthy, and what have you. Once that's complete, we're going to run it through the magnetic stir here, and then revitalize the water, which we'll then, with thanks to God, ingest, very thankfully. So we'll get to that in the second video. I should also note that the bundle includes a so-called golden triangle, which are crystals, which alternative circles say has health benefits. Now, I'm not an expert in that at all. I'm not an expert in any of this. None of this is health advice at all. It's just what I do when I try and what I feel good with at times. So the crystal side, I really haven't even tried that yet. Although I've always have been drawn to rocks. I mean, I got all kind of rocks here, like this one, and many others. I've always been just amazed. This is a rock. This is also some quartz crystal-like stuff that I found France, south of France. I mean, isn't it just amazing? And I have stuff from Nevada where my dad and my friend lives, and it's just really cool. So, yeah, certain crystals are said to have certain powers and health benefits, some of them numerous, apparently. For example, they can help you with relaxation, improve focus, and your mood, your energy levels, etc. The golden triangle consists of amethyst, rock crystal, and rose quartz. What my research has showed is that amethyst will help with stress relief, improve sleep, and spiritual growth. Whereas the rock crystal, or clear quartz as it's also called, is energy cleansing, amplification of intentions, and helps you with clarity and focus. And rose quartz is for emotional healing, heart health, so general well-being of the cardiovascular system, and soothing energy. Once again, I have one source for my spiritual needs, so to speak, and that comes from God and His Son, Yeshua, Jesus Christ, who I accept as our Savior. That's just my personal thing. That's up to you to decide. But that said, rocks are created by God, so I imagine that these have amazing properties as well, just like water or anything else that we ingest. And now this comes into the old crystal-infused water craze that's going on in certain circles, and that supposedly can help get sort of pass on the energetic properties from the crystals into the water, which I just started off with noting that water can hold memory. Now, once again, that is proven to be more structured water, but any water can hold certain amounts of memory or emotion or properties, so to speak. So the whole process of energizing the water with the physical motion combined with the properties that you get from the crystals. And my time in Guatemala with the Mayans and Danilo, the Black Jaguar, they are very big on crystals, and the powers of crystals. I mean, actually, quartz is used in all the electronics. It's a very important part in electronics. It's vital. So quartz crystals, obviously there's a certain power there to them. So, but then, like any of this, please note these are only purported benefits, and there's only certain evidence, but no real scientific proof that these will actually do the said thing. So this is something you just need to feel good for yourself or not, and be careful with putting anything in your water to make sure it's clean and properly tended to. But see how that exactly works once we get into video 2 here. But I just wanted to do the video 1 here to introduce you to what we have here. We'll get into opening the boxes now and show you some of the stuff I do with my water. And yeah, water is just vital. So water being so vital, why not get the best water possible into your system? Ingest only good, structured, vitalized, energized water. Thank you for watching. David from PhiPower01 wishing you a great day, and stay tuned for part 2 and we'll actually get into how these work. Okay, so let's see what's in the box here. What we have is the